Hey, welcome back to Fresh Gaming News. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but I'm back now and I'm going to hopefully try and do more because of the Switch 2 coming up and other news that is exciting like the Tokyo Game Show. I've been mostly focusing on my main channel, so if you want to check that out, I'm almost at 250 subscribers. So check out Rukusumi. I did a Back to the Future analysis video and I'm going to hopefully make more analysis videos in the future. But anyway, a new Nintendo Direct came out today. I'm going to go over it and review it and tell you what happened in it, I guess. So first of all, they announced the new expansion pass for the Splatoon 3 DLC thing, expansion pack. And it seems to be very different to the last expansion pack we got in Splatoon 2, the Octo expansion. It's going to be more focused on like battling this time instead of like level design. You're going to be able to like upgrade your stuff and shit to like fight against like a load of enemies. It's kind of like a rogue game, kind of like that. It's similar to that. But that's coming out in the spring, so that will be exciting. If you've already got the DLC, you can get that for free, and if you haven't, you can buy that anytime. I don't think it's coming to the like expansion pack, the Nintendo Switch Online, which I was kind of hoping it would, because that's kind of the whole point about it. But they haven't really said anything about that. But next, they announced a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which came out in 2005 on the Game Boy Advance. This seems very much just a cut-to-cut remake of the game with no additional features. So if you're a big fan of that game, then you'll probably want to play this again, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really play this too much when it was out on the Nintendo Virtual Console Game Boy Advance thing for the Ambassador. I played a bit of it, but I didn't really get too much into it, so I'll probably check this out and try and get further into it than I did before. But yeah, this seems pretty cool that it's a remake, but they have announced a lot of remakes for the Switch recently. I'm assuming it's very much like the 3DS, how that ended up at the end of its life, where they just had a lot of like remakes, which I don't really understand the point of. Like, surely a remake is supposed to like show the power of the new system, but like considering the system is about to be discontinued, surely it's very counterintuitive to have a game that's a remake coming out at the end of its life, because surely these games will be like obsolete by the time the next system comes out. Anyway, the next game they showed was Prince of Persia. This is a game that's already been shown off a lot, but I guess they just wanted to show it again. I didn't really see anything different in this trailer than what was in the other trailers. But yeah, that's coming out soon, I'm pretty sure. Don't know when it's coming out, but it says January 24, January 18th. But then they announced a new Horizon Chase game, which I've played a bit of. It's like this weird racing game where like an endless runner kind of thing, where you just go on a straight line. But yeah, that's coming out next year. And then we have this rhythm game called Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. This one was really weird. I didn't understand it much. Like, had a lot of like weird gym music, like music you'd hear from a gym, which I didn't really like that much. But yeah, I didn't really understand this one. It has like Konami music for some reason. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Then they had this weird anime game. I have no idea what's going on here. I couldn't tell you anything about it. It seems like a card game, kinda. I didn't really understand it. But then they showed more of Super Mario RPG. This is basically just another trailer. They didn't really show anything that wasn't in the original game, so I think this is just going to be a straight remake without any new features. I was kind of hoping to have some new features, but it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Oh well. But it does say that there's new post-game bosses. I don't know if that was in the original, but it might have been. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that's coming out in November, so. But then they announced these two games that are originally on the DS and Wii, and the Wii version was never released in outside of Japan, so this is the first time the West is getting it localized. And then the original came out on the DS as well. So they had the original on the DS, and then a sequel came out on the Wii, and they're both being remade in on the Switch in HD. So that's cool, because it was originally a DS game. I don't know how different it is from the DS to now, because the DS game is probably very like 2D and stuff. So I don't know how different it is. Maybe it's like a completely different game. But the Wii version should be similar gameplay wise, I'm assuming. Anyway, after that they showed this Peach game, which is coming out next year. It seems to be very unique and variable in terms of gameplay. Like, they have a lot of different modes on how you can play the game, and like each like world has like a different outfit that like changes up the gameplay and stuff. Like, they have, like, a chef one and a sword fighter one and, like, a ninja one. It's very, interesting. But yeah, that's coming out next year in March 22nd. Then after they announced another Saga game, I'm not sure if this is a remake or not, but it's just another RPG. Which, there was a lot of RPGs like this in this Direct. Very many. Now this one I'm conflicted about, because they say it's like a remaster, but it looks very much like AI upscaled. Like, it doesn't look like it was handmade, these remakes. Like, they look like they're GTA 3 remakes, if you know what those look like. I mean, look at that, it just looks very fake. It just looks very, generated. It doesn't look like an actual remake. I mean, it looks better, quote unquote, but it doesn't look like authentic, if you know what I mean. I don't know. It just looks really fake. It just looks like something a human wouldn't have made. I mean, look at these bricks. They just look really weird. And the model just looks really weird. And also, they also remade Tomb Raider originally, like 2004, for like the 10th anniversary or something. Like, on the GameCube, there was a remake of Tomb Raider, wasn't there? So, yeah, new Pokemon Detective Pikachu game. Don't really care about that. I never even played the original. It kind of came out like way too late to care. Because it came out like 2018 in the 3DS. Or maybe it was like even later than that. I don't know. But this next game was like really weird. It's like a Wii music again. But like it's like meant to be like you're badly playing an instrument. And you can play all these like royalty-free public ownership songs. Like all these like classic music songs. Because they couldn't afford the rights to get real music. Like Happy Birthday. Like what the fuck. And they had the Spider-Man 2 theme in there as well. But yeah, then we get to these like weird, like just generic RPG games, like these strategy-based games like this, which is basically just League of Legends. Then they have these fantasy strategy games where you're like farming and crafting and battling in like a 2D area. And then we have Contra, which is pretty cool. Contra, I don't know if this is like a remake or whatever. It seems like a remake of the original Contra. I'm not sure if that's like just a basis for like a new game, or if it's just like a straight remake, or if there's going to be like any new content or in it. So I'll have to wait and see on that. But then they had this other game which is more RPG strategy shit that I've been talking about. This game looks very similar to like Fire Emblem. I couldn't really tell it apart, to be honest. So I'm not too excited about this. It looks very not up my alley, to be fair. So yeah. If you like these kind of games, then sure, I'm sure this was a great Direct for you, but I just don't care about these games whatsoever. They just look so boring to me. I don't understand why people find these games so fun. They're just not fun. It's just like 2D art games with like strategy and farming and crafting and all that other crap. It's just so boring. Anyway, they showed Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which seems to be just another normal remake of a game that we don't need, because just another game with no new content. It was just a straight remake of the original game on the 3DS, so that's great. Then they had this really weird announcement for the Nintendo Museum in Japan. I don't understand why this was in here, because it's like, great, they have a museum, but like most people do not live in Japan, and most people don't even live in this area in Japan, because they announced in like this really specific area in Japan, and it's like nobody lives there. Most people who are watching this Direct probably do not live anywhere near there. So why are they even announcing that in this Direct? It's like, it's not even a game, so what the fuck? Like, it had no reference, it had no relevance in this freaking thing. Anyway, they announced some more amiibos, and then they announced the Sora amiibo, which makes no sense. I had no idea it took this long to come out. I thought that came out years ago, but, you know, they finally brought it out 3 years after the character came out. Wow. But then they had this controversial announcement for F-Zero 99. Now, there was rumors before about a new F-Zero game coming out, and yeah, this is the one we're getting. So, like, they're going to use this to try and see, like, what people want from F-Zero, like if people are interested in F-Zero still, and I'm just going to say that that's not the best idea, because this game is not a good like showing of what people want from F-Zero. Like, people that want F-Zero are not wanting this of all the F-Zero games ever. So like saying like, oh, if nobody plays this game, people don't want F-Zero, that's not true at all. Like, that is just so not true. But that's what they're gonna do, so whatever. Anyway, after that, they announced another weird, like, RPG game that has farming and crafting and other bullshit. And then they announced another League of Legends game. They're all League of Legends games, even though they have nothing to do with League of Legends, so they can, like, sell more copies since it's a recognizable game. But if they're not related to League of Legends in any way other than the fact that they have characters that are in both games, then why even call them League of Legends? This could easily be any other game series title, and it wouldn't matter whatsoever. Like, these games have nothing to do with League of Legends. The gameplay and the story and everything about it is, like, completely unrelated. So why even bother, other than selling more copies because it has the name in it? It's just ridiculous. But anyway, they showed more of this, like, Warrior Wagon. It looks really weird, and I'm not ready. I want to play it, but then at the same time, I don't want to play it because it looks really stupid and ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, look at that. It's just, like, what the fuck? Anyway, after that, they showed this more RPGs that look exactly the same as the ones we just saw a second ago. And this is the one that has a sequel coming as well, so there's 2 games that are coming out from this stupid pile of shit, you know. After they had Eastwood DLC, which is yet again another farming game, but this one looks more interesting than the last ones we've seen. So maybe this one will be good, I don't know. This is just DLC though, so the main game's already been out, but I haven't really played it yet, so probably not going to play the DLC if I haven't played the main game, so. After that, we just get more indie games like Wargroove 2 and Dave the Diver, which are, like, very, like, sprite-based games. But after they show Mario Kart DLC, and they announced the final new characters for the game, which includes Diddy Kong, if there's Funky Kong, and Pauline, and Peachette for some reason as well. But no pink gold Peachette as yet, because they might announce that later. But yeah, they only showed one stage so far, but this is the final wave of the DLC packs. But then after that, they announced Among Us new content. That is so exciting. I can't wait for that. But yeah, that doesn't matter whatsoever. But then after they have there's some really weird sizzle reel where they, like, show us what we've already seen so far again for some reason. I don't understand what the hell that's on about. But yeah, they show us the same things again, and then they end it with Paper Mario 1000 Year Door Remake, which is freaking insane because this is a game that people have been wanting to play on other consoles forever, and it's very expensive on the GameCube, and yeah. It's kind of weird how they didn't do the original Paper Mario, but I guess that's already on the Switch, so that's fine. But yeah, this is really cool. One thing I will say is, like, I wish they would release this on, like, the Switch 2 instead, so the graphics are even better. But I think the graphics are good enough anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. They might do, like, a 4K 60 FPS thing. That is one thing I will say, that this trailer is in 30 FPS when the original game was in 60. That is kind of concerning. It might mean that the Switch game is only at 30. But if they release the Switch 2 version at 60, that will be fine enough, I think, because most people that buy this game probably are going to get the Switch 2 anyway, so I don't think that's too bad. As long as the game comes out nearer the time as the Switch 2 comes out, which I don't know, because they haven't announced the release date of that yet. But this is supposed to come out in 2024, so considering they haven't even shown a release date for this yet, I'm kind of assuming that it's going to come out, like, at the end of 2024. So, like, considering the Switch 2 is rumored to come out in, like, the summer and fall, I think that this game and the Switch 2 will probably come out around the same time. So, they might have, like, a joint, like, upgrade thing where this game gets, like, 60 FPS of 4K on the Switch 2 or something. But anyway, that's going to do it for Fresh Gaming News. Tell me what you thought of the Direct. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was the biggest piece of shit ever? Are you mad about the F-Zero 99 thing? Tell me in the comments below, and that's going to do it for Fresh Gaming News. Bye-bye, I'll see you next time. I'm going to try and make more videos, hopefully, if the Switch 2 gets more news or whatever. TGS is in a couple weeks, so that's going to be interesting. Probably not going to announce anything, though, because, like, they've already announced everything there is to announce for this year, basically. Anyway, bye-bye.